Hi, so we are back. Students, today we are going to learn about formed elements. Before that, let us recapitulate what we have done in the last video. Well, in the last class we have learned about body fluids and circulation, about blood and its function. We have also listed down the components of blood, which are fluid matrix plasma and formed elements comprising of erythrocytes, which are red blood cells, leucocytes, which are white blood cells. And also, yes, remember, platelets is also a component of formed elements, which is the component of blood. Yes, we have also learned about the components of plasma. Plasma is made up of 90% of water and 10% of proteins. Remember? Alright, so let's see in total what we have learned in the last video. Well, achievements, what we have learned in the last video. We have learned about fluids, blood its function, blood and its component, and plasma and its component. So today we are going to learn about the other components of blood, which is the formed elements. Let us see. Formed elements comprises of erythrocytes, which are also called red blood cells, leucocytes, which are called white blood cells, and platelets. That means erythrocytes, leucocytes, and platelets collectively form the formed elements. I repeat. So, formed elements comprises of erythrocytes, which are also called red blood cells, leucocytes, which are also called white blood cells, and platelets. That means erythrocytes, leucocytes, and platelets, these three collectively form the formed elements of the blood. Erythrocytes or red blood cells, which is denoted as RBC, are the most abundant of all the cells in the blood. And since it has hemoglobin, which is a complex protein, a red pigment, making the blood look red in color. So, our blood is red in color because of the abundance of RBCs in our blood. Are you wondering why there is a piece of bone with the RBCs? Well, the RBCs are formed in the adult bone marrow. Oh yeah, helpful for your general knowledge, as we are talking about bone marrow, babies have the RBCs in the fetal bone marrow. However, babies cannot make new RBCs until they are 6 to 8 weeks. RBCs have an average lifespan of 120 days, after which they are destroyed in the spleen. Thus, spleen is sometimes called the graveyard of RBCs. Do you know where is spleen located? So I have a task for you. Find out the location of spleen in our body. I'm going to tell you about the function, but you are going to search the location of spleen. So, the spleen's main function is to act as a filter for our blood. So it recognizes and removes old, malformed or damaged red blood cells. Alright, so that is why it is also called the graveyard of RBCs. Well, we are talking so much about RBC. So how much of RBC an adult must have? What is its function? A healthy individual has 12 to 16 grams of hemoglobin in every 100 ml of blood. So do remember whenever you go for a blood test to monitor your hemoglobin level. Why is it important to monitor our hemoglobin level? Because red blood cells carry oxygen from our lungs to the rest of our bodies. Then they make the return trip, taking carbon dioxide back to our lungs to be exhaled. So it is important for blood circulation, for exchange of respiratory gases, and thus for our survival. Immunity. We are strong and healthy thanks to white blood cells. WBCs are always on the rescue mode. So, students, WBCs protects us from illness and diseases. They are immunity cells. They help the body to fight viruses, bacteria, and other foreign substances that are harmful for our bodies. Thus, WBCs play an important role in the immune system. Alright, as we are talking about immune system, a quick information for you all. We have 3 types of immunity. First, innate immunity or natural immunity. We are born with it. Example, skin, acting as a protection from entry of germs. Second, adaptive immunity, also called active immunity. This develops throughout our lives. Immunity from diseases or when we are immunized against diseases with vaccines are examples of adaptive immunity. Third, passive immunity, borrowed from another source, say antibodies in breast milk as a temporary immunity for the baby. Coming back to WBCs, which are also called leukocytes, are not red in color like RBCs. They lack hemoglobin and have nucleus and therefore are called nucleated. I repeat, leukocytes are not red in color like RBCs because they lack the pigment called hemoglobin. And also, one more striking difference between RBC and WBC is that WBC have a nucleus and therefore are nucleated, whereas RBC do not have any nucleus. Let me introduce you to the types of WBCs. We have neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, lymphocytes, and monocytes. These are the 5 types of WBCs that we have in our blood, which helps us to fight infections and diseases. In the next video, we will learn in detail about these types of WBCs, their specific role and function, as well as how they actually look like under a microscope. Hey, do not close the video yet. It is always good to feel accomplished in life. Answer these simple questions and feel happy. So the first question is, what are the 3 types of formed elements? Number 2, why is blood red in color? 3, which type of cells fight infections in our body? 4, what are the types of immune systems that we have learned? 5th, name the 5 types of WBCs. And last but not the least, have I missed explaining about any formed elements? If so, which one? Stay tuned. In the next video, we will learn about neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, lymphocytes, monocytes in detail. We will also learn about platelets, remember, component of formed elements, and blood group. Till then, take care, stay safe, and study well. Bye.